Hello, everybody, and welcome back to OSL Week 7, Day 2. Now, it is Day 2. We did have an offline match last night, so it's the first games you are seeing for the week. But our game, Forsaken versus, actually, sorry, very quickly, Hasso, who's my duo today. Hasso, do you remember who you played? It was Adolescence. I do. Sorry for cutting you off there. Forsaken v Adolescence will be up on our YouTube later in the week, so if you have missed that, which you all have because it wasn't live, go and check that out. But for the day, we have 2Savage v Requiem, which we're loading into right now. 5:30 p.m. AEDT is the time that the game is scheduled to start, aka we are on time, baby. But first, set one is Nurse. Requiem will be playing Killer first, and then it will be Wraith with 2Savage following it up, and the tiebreaker of Ghoul. Following that game, we'll have Oppenheimer v Caustic at 7 p.m. I will be playing in that, so I will be departing, but then I will probably be right on back. We'll just have to see. That will be Blight, Ghoul, and Mastermind. Void v Nyx at 8:30. Blight, Dark Lord, and Mastermind yet again. And then finally, to round out the night, is Bleed Out v Kratos at 10 p.m. with Cannibal, Hillbilly, and Wraith. But Hasso, we've
Yes.
seen Requiem pick Nurse here. They've got a deal with Becky Nurse in just a minute, but first it is their survivors up on the board. How do you think this one's going to go?
That's a really good question. To be completely honest, I think the 2Savage, obviously we know, is a very experienced team. Requiem, a strong team as well in saying in that, but I think this is going to be really interesting in how both teams play here. As we take the first chase here onto Nu. Now, this is going to be a fast down, Chief. So a very fast down. That is going to be Corrupt gone very, very fast. So we're not going to worry about that. We are running Undetectable perk, which I believe gives undetectability for about 30 seconds as a cooldown of about 45. Maybe it's 20 seconds, something like that. But overall, I'm pretty excited, Chief. This is a very nice build we got here on the side of Ground Zero. And I said to Chief, for everybody just tuning in, I said to him before, I said, this is a very bold decision to pick Nurse against 2Savage, especially with Baki knowing his, experience on this killer. But, there's the DC. So I assume this is going to be a restart depending on what the situation is. But that is for Ground Zero, that is unfortunate because he had a really nice start. He had a basement hook. So,
And I
yeah, what are
believe
your
it was on
thoughts
the
on that,
deli
Chief?
as well,
Yeah,
which is
there
just
you go.
heartbreaking. But I do want to point out that is a no-fault restart on the side of 2Savage. What has happened there is our killer has connected to the wrong server, so there was a fair bit more ping involved than what was expected originally. Obviously, this is Team Japan. If you aren't familiar with who Requiem are, they are a group of Japanese players with a few other players from Southeast Asia mixed in who have moved to Japan, but for the most part, they are supposed to be connecting to Japan, and we did end up connecting to Korea. So that is the wrong server. We did obviously offer a no-fault restart on that basis because the ping for our survivors was a fair bit higher than it should have been, and can reach that sort of unplayable range nearing the 200 mark, which, when it can be prevented, we like to do so. So we've done exactly that. That is a no-fault restart, and like you said, it is very unfortunate because Ground Zero did manage to hook Nu, who was the Delhi player, all the way in basement. Obviously, not what you want to have happen if you are the killer. But for your survivors as well, it does give away that extra little bit of information. Ground Zero is now aware of who's on what build, so we do offer them the opportunity to swap their builds around. They cannot change the perks, but they can change who has what builds. I'm not too sure if we will see that. I see our survivors are still holding all the items they were previously, but it is an option they do have, Hasso. But you are
Yeah.
right. Definitely not the best thing to have happen considering the start we did see.
Yeah, look, that being said, I think you have to also realize, that was the Delhi player. That is very, very unfortunate for Ground Zero because that is a start that any team against realistically the strongest oceanic team, 2Savage. That is a very nice start against them to really rip into them and really get a grasp of the game and to start off with a really nice two tap onto Nu. So to be honest, Chief, I think that is gonna. I hope that Ground Zero keeps his head up because that is a really good start. And spotting these survivors out and getting two tapped is detrimental, especially against a killer like this, because chasers aren't really meant to be long against Nurse realistically because the killer can just blink through walls. So honestly, if I'm being truthfully honest with you, I think that is a really I mean, it's fortunate for 2Savage because that was not looking good for them to start off. And, we are going to reload the lobby here with Ground Zero and the killer, but that is mighty unfortunate for him because I really do feel like he would have built a lot of momentum off that, especially that basement hook on the Delhi Survivor that early in. So that is three key things to take out of it. So big loss on having to restart Chief. What are your thoughts as well? Like on especially that, especially in being Delhi as well in the basement. Like that is very unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously the chase was really quick as well, which is something very important to point out. And it's gonna hurt. It really is gonna hurt if you are on Requiem. I know that I've just had to personally. I will give a little bit further insight into this. They pointed out that they felt like it might have been a bit too late, but it is kind of on me. I did delay the call because I wasn't too sure. I had to double check. After that, I did obviously state that we would need to restart. So I will take full blame for that if Requiem are a little bit upset. My bad, guys. But once again, it is the rules. It is what we have established. We were notified instantaneously. It was on me to act late that it did not occur before that first down had happened. So, if there's anyone to blame for that, do blame me moving forward. But yeah, no, I mean, having a deli hook in basement, especially when it's not been activated, is game winning. That position right there is effectively the difference between stages and a 4K if you play the rest of the game pretty well. It's a really huge
Mm,
blow, and I definitely feel like 2Savage are going to be feeling like the luck is on their side tonight. And all things considered, I do think because of that, maybe the luck was on their side. Getting sent to the wrong server and starting like that
mm.
had to have been fate at this point. But we will be loading back in now. Hopefully, I guess for the fairness of the game, we want to see Ground Zero have as good of a start as he just has. Hopefully, he can just repeat it, right? Get another two tap right next to basement onto Delhi. That would be beautiful. I'm not too sure if we will because, maybe 2Savage are a bit more aware now. Ground Zero isn't going to be messing about. He knows what he's going to do at the very start of the game and he's going to try and repeat it. So maybe 2Savage are going to be that bit more switched on. Either way, let's hope we
Yeah.
see a very good start from both teams just for the state of the game. We want to see a good match, right, Hassa?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially against a kill like this, Chief, the longer you last, and again, it might sound like common sense, but the longer you last against a killer like this and have a really nice, good start where you don't give away a fast tag is really crucial. I was actually doing some scrims
Oh, I see what
yesterday, and oh no,
We have been
no.
sent to the wrong server again, which is a little unfortunate. Um, that is unfortunate. We will, you know what, Hassa? I think we're going to cut to a very quick intermission because this is going to take a little bit for us to work out. We're going to potentially do some tests, see if we can hop into the right server, and if we can't in due time, we will just unfortunately have to play on the incorrect servers. So stay with us as we do get this sorted. I apologize this is happening so early into the stream, but we will be right on back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Obviously, we did have a few extra issues, but we should be all good now. We have a countermeasure for instances where we are forced to the wrong server multiple times, and that has been put in place. So we are finally connecting to Japan. So we will have the game continue, and of course, with the game continuing, my lovely caster duo will be continuing on alongside me, Hasso. We're finally back in the game. The gens,
Yep.
the spawns, looking pretty damn similar. Are we going to have the same start?
Realistically, probably not. Unfortunate to say that for Ground Zero, but hold on a second. Okay, hold on. Let me back up for a second. I might just have eaten my words here. This could be a down, a very nice down, and it could be on basement. Okay. I'm taking back my words. This is a beautiful start, Chief.
It
On
100%
the
is.
side, yeah, on the side of Ground Zero, a really nice start. They will have to locate this ruin eventually because that'll start to spark problems. But overall, I'm excited, Chief, because these two teams are clearly they're both, especially Requiem, mate, balls of steel to pick this killer against Baki. I mean, that is diabolical, and good on them for doing it because goes to show that not every team, maybe this team can put an end to 2Savage's run here and, you know, maybe take a set or even possibly win the game. I'm pretty sure it is favored for 2Savage to win, but overall, I mean, we are just defending this and a couple gens might pop for this Chief. So in a situation like this, a very fast down, Nu will probably come in last second for this this pool, but what are your thoughts so far up until this moment, Chief?
Oh, I mean, the start has definitely been incredible. Getting a quick down and being able to force it into basement on a nurse set is exactly what you want. Obviously, like you said, Sen and Baki will most likely be popping their gens as Ground Zero opts to secure their all the way up top side. I believe they're on 12 and 1. So those gens would be popping even if we secured to second and sent it there immediately. We do not have enough time to make it, but I don't think Ground Zero is going to be all too worried because, like you said, what we've got here is our Ruin Totem. It's all the way edge 7, and it's so important that we do protect that for as long as possible because it's going to be so strong. Obviously, Baki's gen will be popping as we try to send it topside. We're not making it there in time, and I think Ground Zero might now recognize that was all their gen progress. Nu was obviously set up bottom. We know that the unhook does come out just now as we are all the way 12 side of main, so beautiful timing there. We might even get the reset because that's will make it in the basement. Canna's full health and ready to go, but he should get cut off, and that's unfortunately for Ground Zero a tag on to Nu, but it either way ends up getting one on Canna as well, so all has worked out well. Now we've just got to complete our tunnel out with not a lot of gen pressure on the board. This is how you end up with a 4k1, but it does now come down to Ground Zero to be able to get a quick down onto Canna. Canna's done just enough there to avoid 2 blinks. Ground Zero will have to look around now, and if Canna's able to stealth him, this could be dire. I'm not too sure where he's headed off to. Ruin's also gone in the background. I think that was Nu potentially immediately after taking that tag. Probably spotted it whilst he was stealthing down bottom side. And look at this. We've had to abandon Canna. Actually, we might not have. We might have caught wind that he was rotating up to side. I think we're on his tail just now, Hassan. If we're able to get this down here, the game is recoverable, but with these 2 gens being worked and Canna being able to last for as long as he had, I think things could be a little ugly. That's another 2 blinks avoided, Hasso. We're off to a flying start.
Oh, Chief. This has been really nicely done from the survivors. We might even evade here, and we are just going to stop and make sure we can confirm this down with the 2 blinks, and we will even only have to use 1 here. Now, that is beautiful, because that, Chief, will be another generator popping. And, you know, that's the death onto Canna. But now it's just about sending... Is this the top side or the bottom side, Chief?
This is 12.
The map. Okay, so now it's best... I mean, you have a fair few gens towards the mid to the bottom side of the map. So I guess in a situation like this, you do want to break one of these gens here, and that's what they're going to do as we see Nu rotate towards the top side here, and Sen's they're probably going to come double this generator out, and this is where the pressure starts to build, because you get so much value on these perks, but when it comes to Nurse, you only have so much mobility before you have to have your cooldowns. You have to blink once, and that's your furthest blink, and then you have to wait for the cooldown to get it back. So it is very time consuming and detrimental, but it does look like we're just going to hold this 3-gen, and looks like we're going to try and play for a 4k1 now. We must have spotted a survivor here, and we have, so this will be the sprint burst player, which will be Nu here, and we are going for a short little blink. We are going to give away a tag now. Chief, this is... I mean, Ground Zero honestly has done fairly well. If he gets this down here, this will be really nice for him, as he is going to get the down. That'll proc Eruption, which will stop this generator at 12 getting, you know, progressed. And yeah, it's starting to, you know, snowball a little bit. But we do see back in the background working that gen that will be probably towards the 6 side, 6, 7 area. So yeah, this could be problems. We'll probably see Baki in the background go for Nu on the pickup. So I wouldn't be too surprised, Chief, but there we go. There's the pickup onto Nu. So a little bit of progress going here. Ground Zero really needs to stick his ground and probably just let this gen towards 12 go. I don't think there's much you can do about it, to be honest. It'll just waste your time, and the gens on the bottom side of the map will pop. So, Chief, Ground Zero... He's got a death, 3 stages with 2 gens remaining, and he's, you know, found his next victim.
He has indeed. The only unfortunate thing about this down Hasso is obviously we know Nu is Delhi, but look at this. I think Ground Zero is all too aware as well. We're opting to slug. We're going to go back to this gen at 12 and check it. In fact, we might just be sending all the way bottom. We're worried about that gen at 8, it looks like, which I would be too. We knew it had about 50% progress when Nu was working it all the way down here in the first place. And look, someone else had wrapped it. It's no longer regressing. That's at about 70% now. We're going to get a kick onto it and apply our eruption once more, so it will regress in the background. It was Sen that did end up wrapping it, as we've spotted him all the way at basement. And in the background as well, that is Baki picking up Nu, and they're going to stick a reset because Ground Zero needs to pay attention to his 3-gen. You did mention that it is a 3-gen and you think it's best to play for these Hasso. Obviously, I think venturing 12 wasn't that bad of a play. It did look like he was going to be able to get something done if he could get those quick downs, but our survivors did just enough. The other thing I want to talk about very quickly about this 3-gen is obviously one of those gens is main. And for Nurse players and people who have played this set quite a bit, you know main can be very difficult to work around for the Nurse. Blinking in and around can prove quite challenging. I'm sure Ground Zero is probably learned the ropes a bit more than I have personally, and is probably a bit more comfortable doing so. So he shouldn't struggle as much as your typical Nurse player. Either way, still can be quite difficult. So especially with also the distance you can hold in main, it being a big LOS block. Holding this 3-gen might not be as easy as it seems, even though the gens are so close. The only positive about one of those gens being main is obviously the gen at main is facing towards 6 side and not all the way at 12, so it's as close as possible. Either way, I do think eventually with 3 survivors alive, if you're playing around this 3-gen, it would result in a 4K1. So we'll just have to see if they decide to break one of these gens first, and I think Sen is obviously still playing for that. We did spot him out with his scratch marks heading towards 5. Our second blink isn't going to be able to connect, so we do fatigue just in 6 as Sen manages to make it all the way to 4, and now we have to worry about main with that gen at 12 gone. We saw back on it, he's pre-left just in time. Ground Zero is going to get his eruption on it now that it's finally got any progress on it. I think we just saw somebody on 6, Hasso. Am I blind?
Honestly, I don't know. I actually had a yawn. I'm pretty tired today, but no, I had no idea. But we are going to take the chase here onto Nu, and I'm going to evade the first blink. So if you get a little bit stuck onto the rock there, we're just going to send it towards 12 now. We don't want to go down here, and we have gone down. So we are going to slug. We probably do play for a tag here. It's probably our best bet to the big man, the big Baxter. And he's going to evade both these dashes or the blinks. So overall, very nicely done. Probably will see Sen in the background come in for this pick, but it would have to come in now because it is. So that is beautiful. We love to see that. Now what they need to do is probably get out of here and sort of play for reset. All 3 survivors are running towards the top side of the map. You want to have someone working a generator if you can. Of course, these guys know more than me. These guys have been around for a lot longer. So, you know, overall, that'll be Nu getting back on the floor, unfortunately. But, Chief, what do you reckon? What are your thoughts, predictions so far for this result? What do we think it could be?
Look, after securing the tag onto Baki, I am definitely leaning towards the 4K1. Having to get that reset and the pickup means we have to play so much slower. So the gens, actually, we're not even playing slow. Sen's all the way back on 8, which I think is a bit peculiar. You'd want to see people playing a bit slower when you have a game state like this. Because look, Ground Zero is ready and worrying to check this top side. He's not too stressed. He knows one person is probably bottom, because another person being dead here would be so detrimental. And Ground Zero is able to now get this pick. Fortunately for our survivors, it is Delhi, so this pick does come at a cost. He will be able to unhook himself, and Sen and Baki will be able to do stuff in the background. Surely they're going to see a reset, and then maybe splitting the gen at 6 and main as Nu sits for as long as possible. Although Baki might just be on main right now, and I think Ground Zero is thinking that as well. It's why he's here, and he was correct. Look, we've got Baki's scratches heading outside on the 9 side, sorry, on the 3 side even, and he's gone and taken his distance. In the background, we did see Nu get pulled. Sen has decided to pull him, and in the background as well, we see come and get me procs. That means Nu's scratch marks are invisible. He will not be found. No scratch marks, pools of blood, or grunts of pain. But Sen gives away his aura, and against the Nurse, I dare say that's very risky, but those 2 blinks do not connect. He's done just enough there to survive after revealing his aura. But after with everyone injured in the gens we have to play around, we do really need to play very slow now. Giving away a down here in a bad spot would basically spell the end of the game. Getting a reset would be very crucial. But I don't think Ground Zero is going to let them do that. Look, we see his Crow land here. I was going to point out this might have been a Survivor's Crow, but no, that is definitely Ground Zero, so there's nothing you can gain from that one, unfortunately. And I think Ground Zero now, because he hasn't spotted anybody 8, he knew that someone from main had left, and there's no way they're working 6 as they need to make topside from a tag. He's going to spend time looking for this reset. The reset's in basement, but look, Baki's been caught out here all the way at 2Hasso, and if he goes down, it's not the worst spot to be, but it does mean someone's going to have to rotate for his pick.
Yeah, absolutely, Chief. I mean, these guys are playing really nicely. They are playing nice and slow. I love this. I love slow gameplay in situations that can get a little bit dirty and untidy. So overall, they're actually playing this really nice. Obviously, Ground Zero, give credit to that man because he's protected this region at all costs. But eventually, Chief, I'm telling you that if they keep this same momentum up, don't give away too many hook states, and they keep 3 alive, and they just keep pressuring gens, those gens are eventually going to block. They're not going to be there forever. They'll block for Ground Zero, and that's when the problems will occur. So, you know, we're obviously a while away from that situation, but from where I can see we are at and how many times Ground Zero is going to be hitting this generator, it is a real, you know, it could be a problem, but he's playing this very nicely, just surveying everything to make sure there isn't anyone, you know, getting around, sneaking. So I really am. He's now going to go to this gen over here towards Sen. So, you know, I don't really know. The unhook should come in any second now. I think Nu will be getting the unhook, and we do get it onto Baki. Now Sen is just going to really nicely stealth this. You know, Sen is he's one to watch for because he knows what he's doing, and he almost outsmarts the killer sometimes where he does something that, you know, maybe it's obvious to stealth behind this rock and the killer won't check it because it's just an obvious space, but he's opted to do it and it's worked out. So honestly, they're playing this really nicely. We're yet to see any spikes on these gens, but as soon as that eruption comes on, I believe this one at main will now be on its 4th hit if we decide to hit it, if it is being worked enough. We are going to go back, and we are going to spot out Sen, so that is very nicely done from Ground Zero to just turn around, switch targets from main, and just go straight for Sen. And Sen is just going to give away a free tag here. There's nothing much you can really do here. This could be a 2-tap, depending on how we play this. We go for a short blink and another blink, and we've hit him through the pallet. That is diabolical. That is a ridiculous hit. That is what ping does to you. That is what happens when you're playing on a good 100+ MS, and we have spotted out our next survivor. So this is looking real problems here because that slug is not in a good place. Definitely not in a place you want to have it, and it could really start to spell some serious problems for 2Savage. But we do get the pickup, which would be, I believe, Nu in the background. So very nicely done. Baki's back on his gen. We're going to want to leave this eventually because we can't commit for too long. We might just play with Sen here to give him a bit of support. And yeah, don't run towards that main generator or it could spell problems. And that's what they're going to do. They're not going to run there because they know that will be a detrimental play. And we are just going to try and force basement, but we can't. So Ground Zero is now going to go back and slug to go towards main. Chief, look, it is going upside down for both sides. Sometimes I swear that these teams, one of them will have a really good start and then the other one will just rise above and it just keeps on rising. I don't really see where this game is going to end up going because it'll be so close as we do spot the big Sen in the background. So hold on, that'll be the eruption progress. This will be a 4K1. What are your thoughts, Chiefy?
I mean, that is incredible. You're right. You know, I think Ground Zero made the crucial decision there. What he did is he decided to go get Eruption, make sure the gen wasn't going to pop, and as soon as he was able to do that, he denied the pick. He didn't let Sen get anything, but also in the background, worth mentioning, I've said that phrase a lot today, my word, I need to point that out because W casting, am I right, Hasso? But Sen was the Unbreak survivor. Ground Zero isn't going to let that happen. I don't know how he's managed to pick up on that, but we've managed to do that just in time. And because of that, Baki has been able to get the pick into do so. We're not out of this yet. The 4K1 isn't secure, although that gen at main is going to progress a fair bit. If we're able to get a quick down now onto Nu, things could be just as dire as they were before, but we do know Baki is all the way at 12. We just saw him rotating. I'm assuming Nu is going to be close by. They might play for a reset. Play it slow. Sen has a lot of time that he can be spending on hook. I've lied. Nu is 8. My word, they were just trying to do a sneaky one on him. And now, if he goes down, he's got SB, but he's got to play around edge map. Ground Zero should be able to get down relatively quickly if he is playing it safe, but a bit of a prediction blink comes out and Nu will be able to evade that. He's going to make it all the way up to 9 now, and if he dodges another set of blinks, we're now 10. Things don't look anywhere near as good for Ground Zero as they did previously. We're going to have to fatigue. We don't want to send another blink and let him live any longer. We've now just got him in our arms, so that will be Nu on the ground. Don't need to worry about him bleeding out. All we've got to worry about is our gen. So Ground Zero is opting to check 8. Not too sure why. Maybe he spotted somebody that I haven't. He has, because look at this, somebody is at Shack. He's back on the gen. Sen is forcing the locker, and he's just gonna leave him. Ground Zero is not even falling for the bait. He's not gonna grab him or drop him or do anything as a source. Right back to main. Never mind. Sen might still be in that locker, I'm not too sure, but this might mean Backy's gonna pop. We've decided to do the double fake. We might try to do it again. I'm a bit worried, Ground Zero. You need to go check main. He's done exactly that. Backy's gonna leave just in time. We're gonna get the tag regardless, so beautiful stuff, and another set of eruption applied to the gen and a little bit of regression. Now, Nu is on the ground. We know where he is. He's all the way at 10. He's just been picked up in time. Sen has sent it, but he was so close to bleeding out, and another down on him would basically spell the end of his game. He will be dead on the ground, I'm sure, if he's able to last. So Backy and Sen are rotating for that gen at main, and they're going to try and double it out, but Nu hasn't done enough just yet. He's on the ground once more. That's going to be another set of eruption on that gen. I'm not too sure if it actually went off. You were talking about running out of kicks, and we might have done just that. I didn't see the loud noise notification. That gen is not regressing, but we have left it. Maybe we weren't doubling. Maybe we weren't close enough to seeing it pop. Ground Zero is trying to catch somebody out. Look at this. That's Backy. We've found him. He's on the ground once more. Nu has died on the ground. We're sending it back to main because it's a gen we're worried about popping, but we don't even know about 8. And look at that. Sen's done just enough. That's the 4K0 secured for 2Savage. Beautiful gameplay for that 3v1 endgame to be able to get those gens to pop. But Ground Zero getting a 4K0 is still a incredible showing, Hasso. I need to point out to you, because I'm not too sure if any of our viewers or yourself are aware, this map is making the Nurse quite a bit of the harmless killer. This is an out map, and getting a 4K0, even if there is some ping involved, it's a Nurse. Ping ain't the biggest deal. 4K0 against 2Savage, beautiful result.
Yeah, absolutely. You could say a 4K0 against, arguably, like I said earlier, the best team up there with, you know, just top 2 teams in the region, probably the best from what we can see from recent OSL results, and them just being a team in other tournaments. They have dominated week after week. So to do this, even though it is ping for the survivors, that is a beautiful result, because these fellas, I mean, they know that they've played on plenty of ping before, so there is no doubt they'd be fairly used to it. So that is a great result for Ground Zero. And that being said, Chief, we're going to go to Backy's Nurse. I think we will take a quick short intermission, but my golly gosh, that is an incredible result for Ground Zero.
And we are back, everybody. It is still the Nurse, and we do indeed see the big man himself, Backy, playing it. I don't think there's any shocks there if you are a big 2Savage fan. Pretty expected. The guy is a menace. Honestly, a bit of a demon when it comes to this killer as well. And it's funny because he's not the only one on this roster, Hasso. We do have the big Nu as a bit of a pocket pick if Backy isn't available. He is exceptional on the killer as well. And I think it goes to show how good this man is that we've just seen load in. That Nu, an incredible player by his own rights, isn't even getting a look in for it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. The team is stacked with killer players, Chief. You've got Sen, you've got Backy, you've got Nu. You've even got Canna on some of those other killers like the Baba. And, you know, look, at the macro on this man needs to be studied, because seriously, his IQ for the game of DBD is outrageous. He just knows that is Shirley going down. And I mean, Chief, that is almost identical to how fast we got probably faster to how fast we got our first down from the other side when 2Savage were on the survivor and Requiem were on the killer side. So, honestly, really, really beautiful start from the side of Backy. And Backy just, he knows his killer inside out. There's not one. If I'm versing 2Savage, truthfully, I don't think I would want to let them get Nurse, especially because this man, especially after his World Cup performance, it was scary how dangerous he was. So, you know, yeah, this has been very nicely done. That rule will spark problems because they have to get rid of it, and that is a ridiculous hit. That is just the range that you get sometimes on Nurse when you get a lucky blink. So very nicely done, and this will be a 2-tap, and oh my goodness, Chief, that's 2 downs very, very fast in fairly crucial positions. What do you make out of this so far?
Oh, I mean, obviously that first down was unbelievably quick, and it was so fast, in fact, that we don't even really care about the tunnel. Baki has just decided to commit to Shammy instead of going back for Shu, which, you know, on paper generally seems like a bit of a fumble. You want to secure that tunnel out as early as possible, but Becky has recognized that the gens that are being worked are all top side. We had that gen over on the 10 side of 12 and the gen on the 1 side of 12. They're both kind of 12. I don't really like calling gens on this map because you have 12, you have deep 12, you have something else that's kind of 12, but it's kind of 1, and you have 12 again. A lot of gens that can potentially spawn around that Carnival 12. Regardless, they were the 2 gens being worked. So we don't really care that the unhook came all the way edge 5. We just got another down, we hooked them right on top of our gens, and now look at this, our survivors are having to split new gens entirely. We can't worry about the gens we are working. They're too far gone. I think, though, Mel right now is positioning to get Shammy out of those gens as quickly as possible. Also with the dead hard, I would assume they're potentially wanting to get that FTP so they can bait chase because they have that exhaustion that can help buy them that security against Nurse. Dead hard is a very strong pick regardless of the ping because, oh my word, no. Beautiful prediction blink. That's the FTP out of the picture as Mel is now injured. I think Shammy is going to be going second. Not too sure anyone else was set up for the save. I mean, my one Corey's here. We're not going second at all. We're not even getting the trade. That was wonderfully timed from Corey. But the problem is now we're going to have a repeat of the same scenario. If Baki held his blinks for a bit longer and had a second one to be able to get Corey down, but with only 1 blink in hand, we weren't able to get the down. That gives them just enough distance to get away. So instead, we're going to switch back onto Shammy and try to get our tunnel out finally going as well. We did pop a gen on that bottom side. It is part of a bit of a 4-gen that we did have, so getting that gen out of the way is good for the overall game state, but with this many hooks so far, with this many hooks in these positions, with how much gen progress we have, I dare say things are looking really dire already. We could be seeing a 4K just off this start. I know that I pointed out that the start Ground Zero had was 4Kable, and it proved to be until the very end. He got a 4K 0, which is once again an incredible result, but Backy's looks like he might be able to do something even better, Hatho.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, this man needs to be studied. He's not a real... sometimes I genuinely think that this guy's programmed because he just knows so well, like, just his brain doesn't function at the same capacity. It's another level to half the people, and not to discredit anyone, but this man is just on another level. There's no doubt about that. I mean, this man has killer macro. His knowledge is ridiculous. Like, he just knows where to go, what to do. It's just, you know, out of this world, and, you know, Chief, this is real problems here because this could be a death at 4 gens remaining, and this is where things start to... You cannot afford to have a 3v1 situation against the Nurse so early on. Obviously, there was about, I think it was 2 gens, 1 gen left when Canna Lave died, something like that, but you don't want a long... you know, a long 3v1. You want to keep that as short as possible, and your best bet is by lasting for as long as possible. And unfortunately, Spooky Shami, who I've never actually seen play before, is going to die. So that is 4 stages, a death, 4 stages, 1 generator popped. Yeah, I mean, 3 survivors. 3 survivors are injured. 1's about to be healed. But seriously, this is so problematic, Chief. I mean, you almost look towards the 4K 2, 4K even 3 possibly if Baki just starts popping off. But I mean, he's already doing an exceptional job for where he's at right now.
I mean, this game has been picture perfect from Baki. It's been incredible. He does things that I can't even comprehend. Because, I mean, some of his blinks have been insane. Like, he's hit basically what looks like prediction blinks on just completely unsuspecting players at all times, and He's hit all of them. Like, it's like he's not even predicting. He's just knowing. It's incredible. He, like you said, he might be a robot programmed to play Nurse, because truly the level he's at is second to none in OCE at this point. It's insane. It is incredible. The other thing I need to point out, by the way, Hasso, is our gens are terrible for the survivors. Our highest gen on the map is all the way at 9. 9, sorry, not the highest gen. The lowest down gen, towards the bottom side of the map, is at 9. You have 9 main 3, and then a 3 gen carnival. How do you win this? How do you win this? I don't actually understand how you break these gens anymore.
I don't think you can. Not to discredit the survivors, but I think against a man like this, it's you have to break that 3 gen in the clown area, whatever you want to call it, the carnival. You have to, but the problem is, Chief, you can't, because that's where the chase is at right now. So it is real problems. We know where both survivors are. We've got Shirley and Mel. This will just... We're going to go up to take the tag onto Shirley because they are the same, you know, value of hooks. So it doesn't really matter too much. And a very nice, a little bit of a late dead hard coming in because we have a... so there's a hair flying around in my eye. So, yeah, I mean, so far, this has been very nicely done from Baki. Like I said, man is not real. He's on another level, and he's just playing out of his mind. He knows where these survivors are. He's going to spot Shirley here. There's a gen in the background, though, Chief, getting work, which will be done by Corey. And yeah, that's going to be Eruption, and like you said, they really don't have much gem progress going at the moment, because this is going to be at what seems might not even take in basement. So this is just going to be a hook towards 6, and I mean, seriously, Chief, the problems are really there now because, you know, we've got Mel injured. Corey's going to pop this gen, but it's now at what cost? Because they still need to pop another. They need to get outs to win this. So it's like, from a situation where we're in now, it is highly unlikely unless they absolutely pop off. There's the down onto Mel. We're probably just going to slug here, and we do. So, Chief, so far, really nicely done from Baki. But those gens have really fucked the survivors over, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't think the gens were helping, but, you know, we did have the opportunity at the very start of the game to break those gens, and we just weren't able to get them. She was dead so quickly that by the time we had rotated to start working them, we didn't even need to commit a tunnel out. You know, he was dead nearly instantaneously, and I do think that's kind of, as much as I want to say, it's where the game was lost. It feels really bad to say that when it was quite literally the first 10 seconds of the game. I think that down did happen within about 20 seconds of us loading in, which feels really bad. It does feel really bad, you know, to say the game was lost right there and then, but I dare say it was. With the gen setup we had and the position it allowed Baki to be, where he could just stray all the way to the top side, not worry about his tunnel out, go get another down in the gens. I think having it down so quickly, not allowing our other survivors to rotate up the map was so dire. Obviously then as well, the down in Carnival was not great, but I don't think that was anywhere near as likely to happen if our first chase was a fair bit better. If we were able to rotate, get a fair bit of progress, and then stealth out after the hook, things would have been completely okay. You know, this position that we're in now, where we have this 3-gen, this really tight 3-gen, is going to be nearly impossible to break in the 3v1. Oh, sorry, a 2v1. I didn't even realize that Shirley is now dead. Yeah, I mean, the game's over. It's a 2v1. We have 3 gens to pop in a 2v1 against a nurse. GG. That will be the set. Obviously, it's not over yet. There's still another 5 stages for Baki to collect if he wants to take it, but once again, with 3 gens to do it on an S-tier killer, I'm sure he's going to be able to. Look, we spotted somebody all the way over at 5. We see the Crow's Landing. I'm sure he also saw Mel's head just like I did. Actually, this was Corey, never mind, but that exactly is what he's seen. He spotted Corey, and now we're going to take our first chase of the game onto him. He is our first survivor, so he was able to get a bit extra distance, but Baki's done just enough to cut him off right after that, so that will be a tag for 2. Blinks, he's going to now stray towards our tile at 5. We've spotted him out the corner of our eyes, so we're able to blink directly on top of him with this edge map wall to play around. We're not going to be able to do much. Baki has blinked right on top of him yet again, and that is the down. Finally, his first hook of the game. I'm not too sure what Mel is up to. Can we get a quick look, Mr. Streamer Man? We're in main. We're stealthing around in main. We need to get the unhook, obviously, but you know, Baki kind of doesn't need a move. This is Delhi, so that's a little consolidation prize. Mel could go piss off basically anywhere, goes to the gen, but unfortunately the hook is kind of on top of all of them. We have the gen at 9 as our furthest gen, and look, we're a single blink away from the hook and the gen, and with that knowledge, there's not much he can do. We see Mel scratch marks as well back. He's going to feel free to commit that. But with the deli coming out, we've actually decided to go all the way back for Corey. We can't lose him out because he has that med kit to get himself reset if he does have enough charges. But we're not even going to be able to stealth Hasso. We've just caught him out immediately. Look at him all the way edge 4 back. He spotted him just like you did and I. And now Corey's got to do his best to last. He doesn't have BT, so he's stuck on an edge back wall. And with that blink coming right through it, I think yeah, there's not much left to say and do. Mel's gen is 5% Slug and the Eruption proc. We have Aura, not going to be able to stealth, and that's the 4K3 secured.
I mean, I said it. I thought that you're playing for a possible 4K2, 4K3, and when you verse a man like Baki, look, he shouldn't be. He should be. There should be a ban on him playing killers because not to glaze him too much, but it's a little too good for the region. I think he is playing this exceptionally well, as he always does. He is, up there. He's arguably probably one of, if not the best killer. Definitely up there. Top 3, top 2 in the region. He's just a freak. He's, an AI. He's just a great player. So, not to glaze him too much, but he just obviously an incredible performance considering it wasn't even their pick. So I did say, be warned because you do not want to come across Baki's killer, and 4K3 is what shows. Chief, that is extraordinary. Considering it wasn't even 2Savage's pick.
No, 100%. I mean, once again, when you give Baki and 2Savage access to Nurse, you kind of do expect to lose it. I'm not too sure if Requiem were aware the strength Baki has on the killer. We'll never know. We'll never know. But it was the picks they went with, and losing it is a very big blow, especially when you have your next set. Luckily for Requiem, Baki's not going to be on the killer. It's just the other man that you have to be worried about when you face this team. It is the Big Sen, and we do have Wraith. His notorious Wraith. 4K1 sim, secret S tier in OSL, in OCE in general. The man has a 4K2, nearly a 4K3 average on the killer. Killer is harmless on DDS. He shouldn't be doing that, but Sen does it every time. So, I dare say, we might be in for another slaughterhouse.
I mean, it's problems. The game hasn't even started, Chief, and I'm saying that. But look, anything is possible. Especially on Wraith, where it is an M1 killer. Honestly, bro, I don't know what to say because this team there's a salary cap breach somewhere. Because the amount of insane players that 2Savage have got, I sort of gets me speechless. How they consistently stay up there. It's just incredible. Now that we're going to see not just after Baki's masterclass, but we're going to see the Big Sen, and he's yet to, perform. Not yet to perform this season, but yet to perform tonight. So we will get to see him perform on the big Wraith, one of his, if not his best killer. We did see him, I believe, in DVD Indonesia, I think it was, get a 4K 2 or something in the grand final, which was insane. So, this man is not to be joked around with. He's not someone that I'd want to get in the way with, and certainly would not want to be the first person that gets tunneled out, because I know is definitely not what you need. So, Chief, we've both had some memories on Dead Dog Saloon. This time it's not the killer we're thinking of, but it's going to be an incredible performance from both sides, and I'm sure they will bring their best bet. So, we will see the players join the lobby now. Chief, any predictions? How do you think these survive? Do you reckon these survivors can come back and really put on a performance here and sort of, hopefully get some good gen spawns, of course, but do you reckon they can back up and sort of take a step and put on a good performance?
Well, look, we've done a lot of talking about the strength of 2Savage, the strength of Sen, how notorious he is on this killer, the fact that he's going to probably be able to collect a 4K here, but we haven't done a lot of talking about Requiem. Requiem are obviously Team Japan, for those aren't aware. They are world-class survivors, World Cup contenders. They're not a joke. they're not a laughing stock. They are a very serious team, and they are very good at this game. And you know, although I do think 2Savage might just be that level above, we did see them obviously reach the semi-finals of the World Cup very, very recently. They played against Spain, and they honestly, it wasn't a very close match on the score sheet, but in the actual game itself, it was a lot closer than it probably was to the naked eye. And I do
Ah,
think, you know, with all the pedigree they now have on the international stage, at top of, just how good we know they are in the OCE region, I do think they're a level above. And I don't think there's much harm in saying that with Requiem on the other end. But once again, Requiem are an incredible team. And I do
yeah,
think, truly, they are a team that could potentially out this set. Will it be pretty? Will it be the low stages you probably expect on DDS Wraith? No. No, I think if they're going to get out, it's going to be somebody through Hatch in endgame for a 4K, like, not a 4K 0, but the 11 stages, right? It would have been a 4K 0. I think that's the way you're going to see it happen. Other
yeah,
than that,
yeah,
I think it's more leaning towards the 4K side. Ping is going to be a factor. The M1 is going to be tough to play around with the level of ping we're on. It's about 150 ping for everybody involved today. So I'm predicting about a 4K 1, and it will come down to whoever they have playing killer for Requiem, if they're able to do the same thing. And the likely answer, Hasso, I'm sure you're going to say this with me, is no. I don't think they're going to be able to match Sen's result, no matter what Sen gets, even if it is outs. I think 2Savage and Survivors will be able to put on a display second to none against this killer. But, once again, crazier things have happened. Maybe they take the set. Maybe we get our tiebreaker, which, if I'm not mistaken, Hasso, is the big ghoul.
yeah. I mean, absolutely, Chief. Team Japan, you heard it. They're of course, not to say anything, but they are an incredible team. They're Team Japan for a reason. They're the best of the best. We have seen some insane results, Chief. Over the past matter of weeks, we did see Team Evolution actually take a set off, arguably the strongest or top two teams, Chinese Dragons, the Lich set. So, you know, no one ever thought that, but crazy things happen like that sometimes, where it's very you got to expect the unexpected sometimes, and this is one of them. I genuinely agree. I think these guys can really put a performance on. They just need to stick their minds to it, and we've loaded in, and I assume this is the chase build we got here. We've got some really nice builds on the side of the survivors. Love this Medal of Man coming into play. But Chief, I did see 2Savage's build. Now, Sen has sent in the Sloppy Butcher. This perk is, I mean, it is naughty. Just like that hit. That is an incredible hit, but it is a really busted perk when it is used correctly. It's just a very strong, slows down the survivors extraordinarily well. And we've gone for a head-on, and we've been miles delayed from the ping playing in the background, so this is going to be probably a down here. And Sen's done a little mind game. We're coming for a hit tank now. We have to reset Shirley as soon as possible so we can get our head-on back up into play without making any noise in that locker now. No, what is this mind game? If this works, I mean, this is around the map, around the main building, but we are just going to leave, look around, see if we can spot out other survivors. Now, Chief, I know you love your Wraith. Sloppy Butcher, is it the play on this killer? What are your thoughts, mate?
Oh yeah, it's his best perk.
Really?
No, there is no doubt in my mind. I think this perk is as valuable on this set as Pain Res. I think this is the set where you can drop Corrupt and bring another slowdown if you want to bring Sloppy Butcher. You might even be able to bring Bam if it's same ping, although with the amount of ping involved, I don't think you need it. Just then trying to be a bit cheeky there, get the hit over that part, because you can hit over those rails, but doesn't need to do it. Ends up getting the down, playing the regular M1. For that chase, we did see a gen doubled all the way at Gallows. I think it was 7 specifically popping. And we do see a now reset coming on to Corey. That's exactly what you need. All things considered, the start did start off pretty bad. Corey getting tagged as quickly as he did on a relatively strong card outside main, with main so close by to be able to play is not great, but they did enough to last. Shirley took the chase. Sen went for a bit of a cheeky mind game. He thought Shirley might be heading back into that locker to head on for Corey, which is why he went and checked it, but Shirley took his distance all the way to 5 and did just enough over there to last for a gen. And we did break that Gallows 3 gen that we We had 7, we had 9, and we had Gallows itself. And that is now gone. The Gallows Infamous 3-gen has been broken, but unfortunately, it's a bit of a 4-gen because we have that gen all the way at 6 stat medium vault. Does mean Mel gets tagged through it, by the way, as we have witnessed. And getting a tag that close to hook, we see the unhooker coming in, but it allows Sen to go right on back, and he's going to be able to continue his tunnel out onto Shirley if he so chooses, and he does. Doesn't care about Shammy at all, who's made his way to main. We're on the pallet, we're just trying to play the 50s on it. We've won 2 50s there, we sent all the way now. We're going to play around the tile yet again. I thought we had sent main. I think Sen was a bit lost for words with that as well. We see him playing back to the pallet. He's going to be able to get a good drop on it. Actually, instead we're sending around because we do have this hit here. We've sent all the way one edge. Beautiful stuff. Sen now has to make sure we don't get any distance back to main. We're going to drop the pallet, and instead of getting the tag onto Shirley and the down, we're going to take the tag onto the protector. Shammy isn't able to play with Shirley much longer as he is now injured, and that would spell problems if he is slugged, and then Shirley is shortly down afterwards. Shirley now, after that hit though, has taken his distance back to the tile 2, has the strong pallet to play around, but with it dropped, it is time for 50s, and unfortunately the first 50 we do play, we end up losing, but Shirley has just enough distance off it to make all the way edge 1. A beautiful death spot. The Gen at 6 did get erupted. We heard a scream. We did know somebody was working. I would be very curious to see how much progress we now have on it. Oh, it's about 60%. So good progress, and I'm sure another Gen is close to that as well. Maybe it's main. It might be 9. It was 9. In fact, we did see it pop. Maybe we were 3 splitting as well. So main could still have some progress. We'll find out in a little bit. But Sen's aware that 6 is being worked. He also knows it's an injured survivor. We heard a female scream that had to be Mel. We're gonna get the kick now, reapply our eruption, potentially spend our time looking for this injured survivor, because getting another down, we've caught the blood. This is beautiful stuff. If we get a quick down here, it would spell problems. Being able to hook on top of that gen could mean we might even be willing to leave Shirley. That gen is so crucial, but we're worried about how long it's going to take that down. We see someone rotating for the unhook mid-map. There might have been another person back main, I'm not too sure, but if they are able to get that unhook before Sen is back, it could spell problems. So Sen has opted to go back. Corey was here trying to get it. We're going to take a tag for it, and now Shirley doesn't have a protection player to play around in this chase unless Shammy is going to do so, but dead, having all 4 survivors injured against this Wraith with Sloppy Butcher is where problems really start to arrive. Shirley kind of needs to last on his own here if we want to get these gens pumping and our 3v1 gameplay going off to a good start. Now the problem once again is here. Shammy's just taken a hit. We've gotten Shirley to Shack. This is exactly what you need. Shack pallet's going to go, and we have all the pallets around Gallows to play around. Exactly where you need a survivor to go if they need a last by themselves. Pallet density here is incredible. Sen's not going to win this mind game. This is effectively a god pallet if played carefully, and Shirley knows that all too well. Instead of playing it though, he does break off his pallet at 6. Going to try to get the mind games going. Sen delays his pathing and giving Shirley access back to the Gallows pallet, but we do lose that 50 in the end. Shirley's on the ground. That is the death at 2. And I'd really hope if we are our survivors now, we're getting these resets going. Being able to have everybody reset as we head into the 3v1 would be incredible with the position we're in now, but because of that Sloppy Butcher, those resets will come at a cost. It's a fair bit extra time, and we probably had to delay them for our gen progress, but Mel in the background has been reset. I'm sure somebody else is close to being reset. We did also just see a crow land at 2, so Sen's going to head right over there. Look at that, scratch mark heading away. We found somebody, I'm not too sure who it is, but this could spell problems if it's one of the injured survivors. All of our pain resists are up as well, Hasso, I need to point out, so if we are able to get a quick down, it would spell another pain res, disrupting that gen at 2. It is Corey, we found it. If he lost Hasso now, things are off to a pretty good start for our 3v1.
Absolutely. You don't really want to have yourself in a rough situation, but I mean, all the pain res is still being up. It is real problems because those pain res stacks, having 3 especially so early on, you know, so early to late on, it is crucial. It's like you never lose pain res essentially. So Sen's playing this really well. He did get a little bit duped by Shirley for a little bit, but I think overall he's really performing at a great standard. You know, maybe the chases have gone on for a little bit too long, but a 3v1 at this time in the game on the rate set, I mean, it is really good. As we are going to see someone, I'm not too sure what that perk in the background is. Is that clean break? Honestly have no idea if we're gonna. Yeah, so clean break in the background, Chief. that'll cause a bit more time. 60 seconds of just being broken and then you get fully healed, so not terrible. But if you do get caught with your pants down, it is real problems because you just insta tap. So you know, I think overall against Sloppy, it is very strong. If we can have a look over to Corey, see where he is stealthing towards 6. So honestly, Chief, oh gosh, it is. They're not really sitting generators. They can't really. But there is gonna be the big man Spooky sitting. I believe that was Spooky sitting the generator at Gallows. Sen's just going to get rid of some resources, clear up the space a bit, get a little bit more tidy, the room that he's got to work with now. I mean, Chief, it is an odd game so far because it realistically, as soon as one generator pops, he has a nice little 3-gen to work with, but it's not great, it's not terrible, but it's definitely holdable. But you know, that pressure onto that street gen towards 6 is gonna really be a problem if we let this man go second as well. So now it's about leaving. We can play for a 4K2 aggressively. I don't think we'll get a 4K2. I think this gen at Gallows will be popped, but Chief, anything is happening. Anything is possible, especially when you're up against one of these guys. But you know, this is Team Japan, so they could pull an extraordinary out of this and get a nice result. So, you know, they did have some really good chases. Shirley was juicing, and so what we love to see, winning a 50 here. Now, we are going to play for our lives here. We do have another filler to work with here, and Sen's movement, I mean, I can't even see what the guy's doing. He's moving his mouse too fast for my eyes to render that shit in. That is diabolical. So that is going to be a hit onto Spooky. I still can't process how he moves his camera like that. It is insane, but very nicely done. He's just going to patrol this area. And Chief, what are your thoughts? Because Sen's playing this beautifully. The 3v1 with 2 generators remaining. What are your thoughts, mate?
I mean, you're exactly right. He is playing this incredibly. The 3v1, Sen's not put a foot wrong, and I think it goes to show the fact that we popped our gens to get down to 2 with the 4v1 and we've not been able to get all too much progress after that. Sen is just ping-ponging back and forth perfectly. We left Shami slugged, so we didn't even need to waste our pain res. There wasn't too much progress to worry about, and it's been someone has to rotate basically to a dead zone to pick him up, and look, we find Shami yet again all the way edge 8. There's not much else we can do. There's not many pallets here left to play around, and that's just another down. This time, we're going to take the pick. We're going to try and get a pain res off, although, once again, the progress we have isn't all too overwhelming for our survivors, and Sen is also going to spend this time to look for Corey, the person who did end up picking... Oh, sorry, it was Mel who picked up the slug, which means he's not injured. So we do have that little bit of an extra give to work with here, but if we are found, it would still spell very big problems. I'm sure Corey is on that gen at 2. He is exactly no clean break activated this time to get reset in the background as we do other things, but Sen's not even too worried about the unhook coming through. We got the pain res, and he's going to head all the way to 2. The gen's not too high progress, so he's going to potentially not even bother kicking it, because we did see Corey rotating down to 3, but I've eaten my words there. We've rotated all the way, and I think Sen's spending some time here trying to fake with a mind game, bait the fact he's left and bait Corey to come all the way back to the gen. He's done exactly that as well. That's beautiful. There's no pallet to work around here, Corey, so that's just going to be you on the ground. Never mind, unbaked. There's a pallet right there, but we didn't win the 50, so we were killed on the ground regardless. Now, same situation, someone on the ground, someone injured, and Mel death hook somewhere to be found. Still no progress, Hasso. I think the 4K2 will be coming in very, very shortly, unless Sen basically gives them being our survivors of Requiem, a way back into this game, and I don't think he's gonna be making a mistake too heavy for that. I mean, lovely stealth. You love to see it. We're playing past the parcel in the bush there, and Sen knows they have to be somewhere here, so he's just going to sit on top of Gallows and let Corey slowly bleed out. Hold effectively the cross. This is a little bit of a cross here. They can't leave without being seen as Sen stands on top of Gallows. And, you know, they're basically in his field of view right now. If he was to stare standing still facing towards 8 corner, he would technically see them both just in that bush. But Sen isn't all too aware, and because of that, he's just left. Really unfortunate, you know, but you're not all knowing or all seeing this time, Sen. You aren't aware that they are right in front of you, just turning a blind eye. So he will leave. He'll now be on the prowl looking for our 2 survivors. I'm sure they've gotten out of that bush now, but it will be Sen's job to find them before they can get to Corey if he wants to secure the game quickly. Corey bleeding out somewhere over towards 3. I think he's crawled all the way to 4. We do hear him here. I think Sen actually might be looking for him instead. And yeah, here he is at 4 on this pallet. Nobody's close by, I'm sure. He doesn't need to worry about a pallet save, but we're going to check regardless just to play it safe. If we do get it, that would be beautiful somehow, but to no avail. We'll get another hook on the top side of the map. We're going to be getting another pain res as well. This top side pain res here, beautiful hook for the entire game. I mean, we've used it so many times as a pain res as well. Corey's not even been pain res. We have no gen progress, Hasto, so I mean, at this point, I feel like that goes to show the state of the game we're in. There's no gen progress to be seen. I'm sure a 4K2 is still the most likely result.
Absolutely. You said it perfectly, Chief. I mean, these fellas think this is, you know, old Fortnite Season 2's camping in the bush. I like it, but, mate, you've got to get on the generators, you know. You're basically, you know, forfeiting straight away if you just, you know, camp. But I guess that's the best thing you can do in a situation like this. But, you know, we are just going to get Corey out the game as soon as possible. If we can block this, that would be incredible. We don't, but we just get the endurance hit. Now, Chief, I wanted to ask you a very, I guess, out of nowhere question and your take on a certain update that has been around for a little bit now, but what do you think for the competitive scene of the endurance being 15 seconds and the speed being 15 seconds?
You know, Hasso, I think I might have a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. Obviously, it means your survivors are kind of... You get so much distance, right? You get 10% haste for 15 seconds and endurance. Obviously, the better now, in my opinion, is just hit the BT. As soon as they get unhooked, don't even worry about taking the trade, just hit them immediately and you're going to be able to get it down relatively shortly after. There's no BT for them to be able to do much, especially if you're on an S or A tier killer with a bunch of movement. Kind of just change the way the game is played in those unhooked scenarios, which makes it a bit fresh, which, you know, I don't hate. I think it's interesting. Sen's going for another standstill mind game. You love to see it, and unfortunately, Shammy has fallen right for it, walking right into Sen. That's a swing without even taking a step forward to put Shammy on the ground. And now in the 2v1, still a lot of gen progress. We see Corey, I think, all the way up on top of main working that gen. Yeah, we do indeed. And with him injured, leaving the gen now, there's not too much else he can really do. We're not going to get the pick in time before Sen's going to be able to make it back. I don't actually know where Sen has ventured to now. I don't even see him. I'm sure he's somewhere by. Yeah, there he is, dropping off main. Finally, might actually get the pick because of how long Sen spent just venturing around. But I think it will come at the cost of Corey's life. It actually is frame perfect. I'm glad. That's pretty funny for me, but you know, Shammy has dropped his pallet. We're going to play 50s instead of greeting it and using it to get the stun that Shammy once again on the ground. So 4K2 secured Hesto. Can't say I'm all too surprised, but you know, it's a beautiful display of skill from Sen, and unfortunately I don't think Shirley and the gang on Requiem were able to keep up today.
Absolutely. What I've just, you know, I glanced over to my second monitor and I saw someone obviously just mentioned 2Savage, and you know, I've been thinking about Chief. We've seen, you know, the Baki, Canna, Sen, and the big man Nu run it up, but we haven't seen one of my favorite players, the big Midgie. Haven't seen him. So you know, if 2Savage do rewatch this and hear this, I would love to see that man come in and play a set, because I know he's good on the M1s. He can play the M1s very nicely. The Wraith especially, I know he's very confident on the Wraith. He's an M1 player, so you know, we're going to see the same lineup. I assume that is all that is in the VC, which will be Nu, Baki, Canna, and Sen. So obviously a very strong lineup. But to tell you what, 2Savage have so many players at their disposal that if they wanted to sit out for a week, they could do it and, you know, not really have to stress because they're so confident in one another's abilities, which I absolutely love to see. So I think we'll take a quick short intermission and have this next game set up for you. It won't be too long at all, just so we can grab our breath, get some water, and yeah, we'll be back with you guys very shortly.
We are here once again with some more Wraith to show you all. We have 2Savage on Survivor Hasso. We did talk about how we think this set might be just as one-sided as the first, and you know, it is up to them now on the Survivor side to prove us right or wrong. And also our big man Den, playing Killer for Requiem, to show that he can keep up with the very, very best.
Absolutely. Wow. That's what I gotta say. Wow. These guys. Come on, Sen. You're better than that, mate. Just missing a skill check right off the rip. So what a way to do it. We are just gonna break this pallet here from Den and commit our chase to. I believe that is Canna Lave. So, you know, the big Canna, an OG, a veteran, if you will. Been in the game for a while, knows what he's doing, and it is great to see. Now, I don't believe, I mean, if it is try, exhaustions are not allowed on this killer. It can't be. So this will be, you know, really nice if we can we're getting rid of a lot of resources, just to be clear. We are getting a lot of, tons of resources. We are probably going to get a hit here onto the Baxter. And, you know, Backy's going to drop this pallet, win it. Nice, very nicely done from Backy now. Den is going to just break this pallet because he can't play around it because that tree is in the way, and he's going to get to the next part. We are going to spot out the big Sen doing a totem middle of the chase, and we don't get a tag. What? That is incredible. Not just that. It's a bit of Pomo name coming in, so, you know, I love to see a bit of, you know, complexity in the game. So that is unfortunate, but Chief, these guys, they're a very connected team. So is Requiem, but they are having some really good chases to start us off. This is a team. I mean, there's not a survivor that you really don't want to chase because they're all freaks. So what do you do to meet this win con if you were to play for it?
Unfortunately, so I have to say the start we've had is definitely not the one you needed if you want to be achieving a 4K2. This chase has lasted a very long time. We've unfortunately given Becky even more to last on, giving him Shack means he's got another probably 30 seconds at least in this chase, and we can work our way back into the gallows side. And look at this, with that vault, we've actually taken our distance around once more, so the pallet drop will come in shortly after. In fact, we're not even going to play for it initially. We're going to try and get to the window, but Den does just enough to block us off from it, meaning the pallet will be gone. We try to cut him off, but Becky sent his distance all the way to 6. A god pallet here to drop and play around to loop 2. Den's not going to fall for the fake there's something occurring on the screen that I can't say the words, but either way, Becky wasn't able to use that pallet at 6 to loop all the way back around to it. He tried to play to the window at Shack and ate the floor shortly after his vault. That was Den getting his first down of the game. 2 gens had popped, and Ruin is also gone, with a third being 99. Look at that. That's so disheartening. I don't know if this painter is going to come in time. I think Den was just as shocked he kind of paused his trot to the hook. And what can you do, really? I mean, look at the gen progress. Holy hell. I mean, you can leave Becky for death and pop all 3. The only thing that's stopping you is that lovely perk we now see in the bottom right, which I didn't get to talk about because of how quickly this game was moving, is Penty. A peculiar pick, especially when you have Sloppy on the builds as well. I thought you would potentially see another totem like Devour in the game if you're going to run Penty, but no, we have opted for just the Ruin and the Penty, and I have to admit, I'm a bit of a fan. I actually really love the Penty Ruin Devour combo on these lower tier killers. I think it's incredible. We've seen it in EU a lot on the likes of Demo, even Wesker, where you just run these 3 perks together, Devour, Ruin, and Penty, and then have your Pain Res, don't worry about Corrupt, and use it to get your mid to high stages that you should be getting on these killers. I think it is a bit of a gamble, obviously, because like we saw, Ruin was gone nearly instantaneously, but with Ruin gone, it's a give and take. You get 20% slower gen speed because of that Penty. Den does try to swing there. Sen has dumb teched him, and I mean, look at that. He's going to also win that 50 not vaulting. Den's not able to connect with that swing. He wins another 50 taking the vault this time. Den, I don't know what the plan is from here, buddy. I have to be honest. You've got a 4K from this position. Becky is the only person that's been hooked. He's injured now, but I'm sure he's getting reset as the unhook did come in a few seconds ago. Sen is winning everything over at 5. The pallet was gone a while ago. We've got the window at 4 as well. Den swings. He's nowhere near that, buddy. A fast vault was the reason. I mean, Den doesn't want to chase him anymore. Den doesn't want to chase Sen. Don't chase him. Do not chase Sen. And look at that. That's the game. We spent a bit too much time rather with him. And He wants some more. He's all the way
He
here.
wants
baiting
it all.
I mean, he wants it all, so he really, really does. We have to worry about this gen. Look at all the progress it still has, even though it was pain res. News here. We're gonna get the pallet drop. Den's gone for the cloak to just break it in the zone, but News vaulted right on into him. So that's the free tag, and now we've got another commit over back to this tile at 4 that we weren't able to down Sen on. I'm sure we're gonna do something, hopefully a little nice if we are Den, get it down quickly, but I don't think it's gonna mean all too much. New is just holding his distance. He knows there's no ban, which means we make it back to the window. That's the unfortunate thing. Oh my word, we don't. There is some ping involved there. We just didn't make that, but I'm sure that gen at 6 is still gonna pop. Maybe not. We did see a reset come on to Sen. Maybe we aren't gonna pop that gen just yet. Maybe we still have some time if we are Den to secure some more stages before the game comes to a close. Obviously, the result's secured. 2Savage has already taken the set, but still up to Den to play for whatever he can. And 2 stages on the board now. Let's see, Hatta, what are you expecting? Because I want to see about 6. I hope he can get 6 stages from this at the very best. That's definitely the region he's at right now. Someone's still on this gen. It is Canna. That's unfortunate, buddy. That's going to be a free tag, and definitely not what you need. This is a chase you can't really commit, although you want to. It's an injured fresh hook. That's a pain res and another fresh hook for the game state, but he's made main with this uncloaked distance here. We're going to be able to block until the window, and now we make the vault. We're going to play to 11. Den can't uncloak until we get to the pallet, basically, unless we try to block him, which we've not been successful in doing, so we'll have to play 50s around it. Canna doesn't win any 50s at all, but does just enough for that final gen to pop. This will be our 3rd stage for 5 gens popping. I'm sure someone's on a gate, and we're going to play for this in the end game just to have the fun. 2Savage are infamous for doing stuff like that, so that's the maybe we aren't getting the 6 I wanted to see. I think at this point 5 is guaranteed if they were to leave, and we know they're not going to do that. Look at them on their march already. They're going to play for it here and now, and maybe 3 is all we're going to get.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, you got to camp this out. Sen just being Sen, I guess. There's not much to it. Just having his way. So we are just looking towards this one gate. We honestly aren't looking behind us at all. That could just come in and get sniped at any minute as soon as he runs away. We are going to spot out survivors, but we don't really care. We're going to just play for this 5 stage 3 fresh. I mean, we're just trying to camp, and if we can get a quick spectator round really fast to see what Nu's doing, or see if, yep, so they're opening another gate. Okay, cool. That is exactly what we like to see. Nu is set up for a head-on, and oh my days, we will be seeing the big man, I think Baki, come in any second, because, you know, they need to get this. If I want to just put a bit more of a performance on, we're just going to send it in both at once. We're going to get this unhook, and that will be what looks to be 3 stages. Now, if Nu hits this head-on, how nice would that be for them, Chief? Just a bit of icing on the cake. Look at them. The line, the conga line, just sending it. We don't fall for it. Hold on. Oh, no. We've opted to go for our... it's been head... No. No. That is outrageous. So we've procced the head-on, and we've gone too close into the proximity. I mean, he still gets one here, no? He definitely gets one.
Yeah, we've run away from the gates to get that. We've run away from the gates to get that. The gates are 1 and 5, and we ran all the way to 9 for a head-on, and you know, obviously that does mean, unless we see a beamer save coming onto Canna, this is more stages than we needed to see have, but I think they wanted the head-on more than they wanted the outs. They might even get 4K zeroed if they don't play too carefully now, and once again, I don't think they care. I think they care more about what they just did. And you know what? Maybe that's one for the Twitter and the TikTok. Put it up there, Vane. Put it up there. Everyone else working on that. I'm sure that's going to be a funny moment that we can look back on. I mean, once again, the game's over. You know that they're going to have their fun. And look, they're doing that exactly. They want Canna up and off the ground and getting him out the gate at all costs now. They're all still here for it. And I mean, once again, they could just get 4K zeroed. I don't think any of them will be walking out that gate unless they're able to do it all together. Baki's going to be on the ground as well, so they want Canna out. Canna's going to send it now. We see Nu also heading towards the gate. I don't know where Canna is just gone. I think he might be following behind Den. And oh no, he's picking up Shen. I don't think he's going to get that in time, believe it or not. And I don't think if we send it to 1 now, Canna, we're going to be able to make it. So maybe a jiggy play towards 5 as Den heads up the map. But hey, that is I don't even know what that is. How many is this going to be if Canada doesn't get out? It's like, what, 10 stages? 10, 4? Good
Something
result.
like that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, Canada's
10,
out.
yes.
Oh my god,
So it should be 7,
so it's
7,
Becky.
3. Oh my
Becky out?
days.
Becky's not
No,
out.
he's not! Oh, come on, Baxter. Baxter. Oh, boys, you should have just left when you had the chance, taken the 5 stage. I mean, seriously. You know what? You could have even gotten the bloody 4 stage if you just didn't decide to go for that head-on play. So, I mean, fair enough. Fair to it. Well played. Chief, that was a hell of a good amount of, performance from both sides. I mean, both teams obviously 2Sav walk away, but Team Japan also putting up a really nice fight, especially on that nurse set. They put up a really good fight against the big 2Savage. Not an easy team ever to come across. You wouldn't even put them in an okay team to us. They are a very, level hard extreme. I mean, they're not an easy team to beat or even take a set off. So that will spark the end of 2Savage versus Requiem. We have Oppenheimer versus Corsic. Now, Chief, before we head off, would you like to introduce your sets for your team?
Yeah, so we have some very fun sets coming up. It's actually kind of the caustic special. We've gotten the 3 sets we love playing the most. I don't know how we've managed it, but the P&Bs went exactly the way we wanted to see them go. Will that mean we have a fair shot of winning the game? No, I don't think so. We're still pretty bad, but it is going to be the Blight up first, the return of the big Lemonetic on his main, the 4K2 Demon back in Div 2. Hopefully he can do it again tonight for me, and if he can't, I'm going to have some words. But after that, we will have the Ghoul, another man, another Lemon to play. Will we be able to do it? I'm not too sure. Maybe we get 2-0'd, but if we don't, we will have the Mastermind as our tiebreaker. And once again, I will be playing. Come support me. If nothing else, make sure you stay tuned. I'll be hopping into that lobby very, very shortly. I need to turn off my exit lag. I've just reminded myself because I was the person hosting the lobby for our Japanese players to make sure they were connecting to the right server. So if I don't do something right now, I will be playing on 500 ping. But I will go make sure I'm not doing that, and we will get these lobbies set up. We will have our next game very, very shortly. Like I said, please come and root for me if you're not already here. If you're not, though, you can't really hear me, so I don't know why I'm asking. Either way, we'll cut to a brief intermission as we do get everything set up. I will be departing as a caster. I'm not too sure if Hasso will or won't be Hasso. You can let them into that in just a second, but take us out, my man.
Yeah, that will be me